Y'all, I know I'm a little early. The thing says 1:45, but I didn't change the time so many times. I know y'all head must be swimming, but listen, your girl been lifing. The kids is here. You might hear them in the background trying to be in a video chat, but I had to relocate to my bedroom so I can do this video and get it out for y'all, okay? So we're gonna get into it. Love and Marriage, Huntsville, Season 5, Episode 4, okay? Child, this episode is the episode of all episodes for the come up of the minutia and the foolishness. Okay, so without further ado, let's just get into it. And I'm probably going to play the intro a couple times so we can let some people get on up in here since I done came on early. And y'all, please, I did put a little promo in there for ShayRenee.net for my Express Yourself, Say It With Your Chest t-shirt line. So take a look at that in the promo as well. So let's get into it like we always do, shall we?
Can't ball in a life, man. Go on with it, go on with it. Do us. So we are coming with a force. Yeah. Blessing the reap and we course.
Y'all ever want to just say it with your chest without saying it with your words? Well, here's your chance to do it. Click the link below or visit www.shayrenee.net and pick the design that fits what you have to say today.
All right, y'all. So let's get into it. Okay. We are 5 minutes early, but everybody come on in, come on in, come on in. Okay. So we start this. Hold on, y'all. My screen doing some things. Okay. Linda Gamble is back. She says, good afternoon, ShayRenee. What's up? What's up, Linda? Thank you so much for coming back. Linda watched my review on Zatima episode 3 and 4. You got to get into Zatima, Linda. We got to talk about some things. All right. So y'all, getting to the start of this episode, Marceau and Tisha go look at Never Never Land, child. They're looking at a plot of dirt because it ain't going to be nothing, okay? I don't know if y'all have seen what's going on in the blogs, but child, they are saying that Marceau and Letitia owes the coins, okay? They owes the money to them peoples. They done took out some loans and did some shit, some stuff, and people suing people and all that. I don't know the details, so I ain't gonna say it. This is alleged information, child, because you know we ain't trying to be over here reporting some stuff that we don't know the truth, okay? But yeah, Never Never Land, never gonna happen, never gonna Scott it, never gonna do it, okay? All right, so they looking at dirt because it ain't a house, it ain't a pipeline, it ain't a nothing at this point. It's looking like she by never gonna do it, you know, but she did it eventually. It took her 6 years, and it's looking like it's about to take the Scotts even longer than that. But anyway, moving on. So Tisha's like, you know, I don't understand why we haven't moved forward with this project. Like, what's going on? And I'm like, Tisha, aren't you the primary investor in your business? How do you not know what's going on financially with this property? Y'all have built commercial spaces. Y'all built Black. Okay, that is up and running and successful. How do you not know what's going on with this house? Like, it's given the plot that Todd set up to get you into the BS. Okay, moving on. So Marceau pretty much tells her, listen, you know, with the C19 and all these things that's going on, child, because you know we can't say the COVID word because for some reason on this here YouTube they be flagging your videos for that. So if y'all hear me say C19, you know it's for the COVID. Okay, so moving on. So he's saying due to the C19, it's hard to get supplies in. Production is slow on things. Like it's a lot that's really start making this project get pushed back further than they really expected. So Tisha says, you know, she said, well, you know, we've switched architects and done all these different things. I don't understand why we can't move forward. So moving on from that conversation, because listen, the damn house ain't built and it ain't gonna be built. So whatever, y'all sitting here talking about it ain't gonna make it miraculously appear. So then they move on to talking about Wanda's food truck, Miss Wanda's food truck. And Letitia says, well, we ain't doing nothing with this, so I'm gonna go ahead and invest in my mama's food truck. And he's like, I don't think that's a good idea. Your mother doesn't have good business sense, and just because she can put salt and pepper on some things real good, that does not make a good business person. And that truck, I guarantee you didn't start. So Tisha was like, yes, it did. Like, she put a battery in it and she drove it around the neighborhood. She said it's working just fine. Marceau says, I give you $100 right now to let you know that truck did not start. Okay, it did not start. This is Never Never Land that we're not gonna live in, and that Wanda show enough truck is show enough never gonna happen, because I'm not going to help invest in that. I don't sign on that, and that's that on that. So Marceau is not with the truck and the food truck of it all. So Tisha is like, well, you want to let Martell back in our business? Why do you give him so much grace and not my mother? Like, what's the deal with that? So Marceau is like, well, listen, Martell has a business mindset, unlike your mother. Like, yeah, he's had some personal things going on, and rightfully so. There's a lot of things that have gone on in his life that ultimately made him react the way that he did towards us, unfortunately. However, he never wavered from his business sense. So in that regard, I trust Martell in business, which I'm like, Marcel, you's a daggone lie, because you knew that. First of all, we're going to get into these suites with Destiny. You knew Destiny was never going to get these suites done, because you knew that she doesn't own that building and she don't have the collateral nor the finances to go ahead and get these suites done. And you made Martell joining if y'all remember, he made Martell joining the business contingent upon them doing the suites together. So if the suites are never going to happen, we know that Martell is never going to buy into the business. And they've already made it clear that they're not doing the suites. And quiet as it's kept, allegedly, Destiny's damn store is closed at this point. So it's the never land of projects with Scope. Okay. So moving on. So Tisha wants him, again, she's talking about him having the same patience with Wanda. And Tisha says, she's going to have a sit down with Martell to talk to him about his wants to get back into the business and really see if it's really worth it for them to let him back in, because at this point, she's just not sold. She doesn't trust him. Him talking about these 20 women and whatnot, like, that really put a sour taste in her mouth about doing anything with Martell, because trust is everything in business. And if I can't trust you and you out here airing out my dirty laundry, like, what makes me think that you won't continue to do that? And now I'm tied to you financially. So she wants to sit down with him to see if he really is this straight up stand up business guy that Marceau is trying to sell to her that he is. So Marceau says, yeah, you can sit down with him, just don't be at a hotel with him with your back out. Ciao. I don't understand how Marceau is allowed to make jokes about this and his wife actually laughs and thinks it's funny, because at the end of the day, that was your back, sir. Like, in my opinion, I think it was his back. And for now, where have we moved on in life where now this is a joke that everybody is laughing at and not looking into to be like, okay, so who took this picture? Why were you there? And what's the goings on? Like, why are you doing this? What's happening? What's happening? Like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. But Tisha, if you want to put the blinders on, sis, I'm gonna be blind to the BS with you too. So in the next scene, Martell goes to some messed up front yard somewhere, child. It looked like it might have been his damn rental home for all we know, because he over here pretending like he actually about to build a damn house. But I'm like, Martell, you continue to play businessman. You're acting like you're doing all these things, but you don't have a builder's license. How are we to believe that you are about to build anything? I want him to build a bridge and get over his BS. That's what I want him to do. That's the first thing I want to see him build. I want you to build it brick by brick with your bare hands. That's what I want you to do. I want you to build that bridge and get over yourself. That's what I want you to do. We do not believe that you over here about to build no damn house, sir. We don't. We just don't. And it's like Martell, even with this whole stuff with him trying to get back into Sculpt, if you will, like, you're trying to do every single thing that you can to get into businesses that you don't have to really do anything. Just like you did in your marriage with Mel. You always want to be the behind the scenes guy, but reaping all the upfront in the front of the business benefits. And that's where he's trying to shape his life. He doesn't ever, in any circumstance, any interaction, ever want to accept responsibility for anything that he does. He doesn't want to assume whole responsibility for anything. So he's going to continue to bite off of everybody else's stuff, everybody else's businesses, so he can try to build himself up. Why not take the reins of your life, get your business license so that you can actually go and build your own business, do these projects by yourself? But no, you got to be the low down dirty shame that we know that you are and continue to do foolishness. And we're not buying it. So anyway, y'all, Melanika walks up and she's like, "Oh well, I should have worn my work boots because we about to do some work over here. Like, what's going on?" So they talk about him doing the relaunch. The launch of his wine, his Inez wine. Okay, in Huntsville. Okay, now I also remember in the blog seeing a video of him saying that he can't even sell the wine in Huntsville. So why are y'all doing a launch there? I don't know, because no one's going to be able to buy it there. But anyway, moving on. You do what you got to do, sir, to put on a show for the sham of your life. So they talk about that. And then he says, this time I'm going to make sure I thank the right people. I'm going to thank my uncle, thank my family, because child, we know that was a mess last time. And she's like, yeah, we're going to make it do what it do. We're going to do the right thing. Hence, meaning she's going to write the speech this time like she should have the first time. You've known him all this time since high school. You should know that he's a fool. Why did you think that this man that claims that he never really drinks, but he was drinking that night, could go up there and do a reasonable speech by himself? What type of manager are you? But moving on. So then Martell says, I don't want any rumors out there, and I'd rather you hear from me first instead of it coming from somebody else. So he begins to tell Melanika about the rumors that Destiny brought to her, that came to her by way of Kimmy, saying that, she quit the wedding and, all this, that, and the third, and that Mel has assumptions that her and that Melanika and Martell were at some point sleeping together. And he's like, I just wanted to tell you this, Destiny told me this, so I'm just kind of relaying the information to you, but I don't want to be in the middle of no mess. So I'm just letting you know. Okay. So Melanika says, well, you know why I quit the wedding, because you were he was like, yeah, you quit because, of whatever. Like, he tried to cut Melanika off real quick because he didn't want her to be upfront and honest about, because you was trying to screw my assistant. That's what you was trying to do. And Melanika was honest. She said, well, I have heard rumors that you were trying to sleep with my assistant, so I just decided to, humbly decline during the rest of the wedding. So, and I didn't do it 2 weeks before your wedding. Mel knows I did it 2 months before your wedding. And my mom did y'all wedding and everything came out good. And she said, and as far as, Mel, I'm not going to say anything bad about her. Mel has been supportive to me. She came to my, I think she said her dad or her, somebody's funeral that was close to her. She came to the funeral. She's spoken on panels and done events for me. So I have nothing bad to say about Mel. She's like, I understand hurt people hurt people. She's gone through a lot of things. And basically, you, sir, put her through a lot. So maybe I'm just a casualty of war right now, but I'm not going to hold that against her, basically. And I absolutely love that response from Melanika, because at this point, somebody has to be the mature party in this whole situation. And I feel like Melanika is not going to alienate herself from Mel, because she knows that Mel has power and she's growing and she's doing things. So why would I now talk crap about this woman and alienate myself from elevation? Because there may be things that Mel can put her on to. I'm not going to bite the hand that could possibly feed me. You can do it with your cheating and your shenanigans and your foolishness, but sir, I'm not going to join that well with you. Okay, you can drink that water by yourself. I will stay parched and drink from somewhere else. I'm not going to drink from the land of BS with you and dusty ass Destiny. Okay, and here's my thing. Why would Destiny run back and tell Martell that? Like, obviously, you and Mel are not close at this point. You don't have nothing else to talk about. You don't want to talk about your life, but you want to talk about everybody else's stuff. And if you ever even wanted to be cordial with Mel, or if you wanted Martell to have a healthy interaction with her, because you got to think about their kids, why would you come and bring him this mess? If Mel was going back to your ex, telling him stuff that you said, how would you feel about that? Why are you inserting yourself in this? And we all know it's because Destiny doesn't have a storyline. She has absolutely nothing to talk about. So she got to make a way for her to have a scene in some type of way. So she going to use everybody else to get her screen time. And that is not the way to do it. It's really not. It's reality TV, baby girl. Talk about your reality. How about that? Instead of getting in everybody else's stuff. So anyway, Martell says, when you want to talk about me cheating, you cheated too. Hell. And Melanika says, you know what? That's not fair to my marriage to be talking about some me potentially doing anything with you. And I haven't slept with you or nothing. And she's like, we not talking about me. She's like, and I don't want to be messing with you. You out here getting people pregnant, don't got your life together, doing the absolute most. Like, no, I'm not about to be messing around with you. He said, yeah, ever since that time in high school. Why did you have to bring up the fact that y'all slept together, Martell? How is that valid or reasonable, or why does anybody care? Clearly, she don't want to talk about that. She didn't bring it up. He brought that up because he's mad that she admitted she didn't take the bait of him trying to silence her about him trying to mess with the assistant. Yet she was truthful and validated that she heard that he was trying to screw around with her assistant. So he probably did that as a little jab and a nudge at her because he was pissed that she said that. And then also his little ego was burnt because she was like, I ain't about to be fooling around with you, messing up my good marriage, fooling around with you. No, sir, no, ma'am. We're not going to be going there. Okay. Excuse me. Y'all been talking for the last hour, so bear with me. Maybe a cough or here or two. So then they end up laughing that off like it's a little joke. Then the scene ends and they move on. Hold on, y'all. All right, had to give me some water, child. Okay. So moving on. Mel is outside in her yard cleaning up, and her mom comes outside to bring her some water because she been working out in the yard and doing some things. And let me tell y'all, I love Mel and Miss Van's relationship. Like, I don't know if it's because Mel is an only child or whatnot, but like her mother is like her biggest fan. She's going to be there with her all the time, be there to protect her, be there to help her. And I love their relationship. And I just think that, Miss Van is one of those people. She's a very prestigious, posh, mother of the past. I mean, pastor's wife. That's what she gives off to me. Like she's really she gives off genuine. And I love that her and Mel's relationship is as close as it is. So they sit down to talk and they talk about Van's interview on Instagram with the Love and Marriage Huntsville page. I can't remember what the young lady's name was, but she interviewed Van about some things dealing with Miss Wanda and how she felt about some things that Miss Wanda has said and whatnot. And of course, Miss Van, being the very elegant, real well poised person that she is, she gave a well-rounded, slightly shady, but not really answer. Okay. She didn't come for Wanda. She just basically was like, she don't really want nobody talking about her grandkids, and that it's just, when people are ghetto, you let them be ghetto by themselves, basically. Okay. So then they talk about Tisha wearing the team wife shirt, and apparently Miss Van posted it on her Instagram page. And Miss Van says, well, you got a lot of sales off of that. I was posting that just to post your business. And she said, okay, maybe I was being a little bit shady, but not so much, but I do things and I'll be very light with it. I ain't going to do too much. And Mel agrees. She's like, yeah, you do be a little shady sometimes, but it's okay to be a little shady, especially since they always trying to come for me. And so then they talk about the Coca-Cola bottles and how, Marceau had posted a picture of two Coca-Cola bottles where one said Vanessa and one said Scott. And so Miss Van talks about her interactions with Mark. Mark is Marceau and Maurice's brother. Okay, I don't know what the ages are, if he's in the middle of them, older than them, whatever. But obviously, they talked about it at the reunion. Mark and Miss Vanessa had some relations, okay, of sorts. I don't know what that consisted of, but they had some sort of relationship. So Marceau, trying to be funny as he always often is, and he posted this picture saying, well, if Van was, promoting her product, I was promoting marriage. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. And I'm like, Marceau, you are just so messy. How about post some pictures of these women that people are saying that you out here screwing around with? How about that? How about you post some honesty about what's going on behind the scenes of your life while you over here meddling in other people's stuff? Okay? Just stop. So anyway, moving on. Miss Van says that the backstory of all of that is Mark was the one that originally took the picture of the Coca-Cola bottles. He basically was saying that his mother told him that he was going to Mark's mother told him that he was going to marry a woman named Vanessa. And so when he met Vanessa, he just felt like that was his mother's premonition coming true. So he took the picture of that and told her the backstory. So she talks about how she often had conversations with Tisha about Mark, and she shared with her, what Mark had done or whatever. And so it wasn't even really that deep. Like, it wasn't anything that serious. But Marceau took it and made a mountain out of a molehill by posting that picture. And that picture is basically old. So at this point, they're just realizing that the Scotts and are just trying to take Mel down, trying to take her down. And Miss Van even says, I didn't appreciate Martell kind of at the reunion validating their foolishness. Like, he's over here pumping up the whole situation with me and Mark, knowing that it wasn't even that deep. Like, she just felt like that was very disrespectful of him. And she just couldn't believe that he did something like that. And Mel says, you know what? I don't have any more fight in me. If they want to keep coming for me, that's okay. I'm not going to fight back because I'm really not about to be blocking my blessings going back and forth with them. If y'all got enough energy to be coming for me, then it is what it is. I ain't doing it no more. And matter of fact, to show you just how unbothered I am, I'm going to go to Destiny's event because I support Black businesses. So I'm going to go there. And I'm like, well, Mel, girl, let's be honest. You did not go there to support a Black business. Hell, Destiny ain't even had no damn price tags on the shelf for anybody to buy anything. I don't even know if she got the damn register in that mofo at this point. This is a very staged event. It's very staged. We're going to talk about it when we get there. But Mel, you went there to be messy, sis. You did. You did. You went there to approach Miss Wanda from what it seems like with the previews. Now, I'm going to wait till the next episode to see how the hell the things is going on. But child, Mel, I love you, girl. But you did go there to be messy. We just going to have to go ahead and be honest about that. So, okay, we moving on. All right. So, they move on from the scene with Mel and Miss Van, okay? So now we're in this scene with Martell and Tisha, where they sit down and discuss bringing him back into the Sculpt brand of it all. Okay. So Martell says he just wants to talk about business. He don't want to be talking about no messy stuff. Like, he's trying to rebuild his relationship with Mel at this point. He's trying to move beyond the rumors with the Scotts about the 20 women. Like, he just wants to show that he is ready to move the heck on. But what does Tisha do as soon as he comes in? Starts being messy. So she brings up the whole team wife shirt and what Miss Van did and who the what and what's the goings on with the Coca-Cola bottles and things. And Martell is trying to remain neutral. He's like, well, you don't think that was just her way of like supporting Mel and like promoting her business? Do you think that was because I heard she got a lot of sales from that. So, I think that was just basically, I don't think it was anything bad. So he did try to defend Miss Van at this point. But then here go Tisha talking about, yeah, because Van used to call me and talk about Mark. Like, she would text me, and she texted me that picture, the team wife photo, talking about she texted me the picture of the Coca-Cola bottle, asking, why was Marceau posting this and that and the third. So basically, Tisha is ranting and raving and venting and being messy about the whole situation, trying to drag Martell into it. Basically, like, if you want to get on with this business, you better show whose side you on right here, right now, okay? Because whatever you say is going to determine whether I even think about letting you back into this company. So Martell didn't take the bait. He's taking the neutral way of life and trying to be zen. And, he's not trying to pick a side. He didn't pick a Scott side. He didn't pick the Melody side. He picked Martell's side, which is the side that he's always going to pick himself. Okay? So moving on, then Tisha begins to talk about the business, and she's basically like, I have to make sure that I can trust you because, you out here talking about 20 women and whatnot and doing all these things and basically attacking our marriage. Like, how do I know that I can trust you? And Martell says, in the past, I would be mad about some stuff. And then 2 months later, I would just lash out. He's like, that's not the person I want to be anymore. I don't want to do that. And she says, yeah, because we can't be having you doing that. And like, we're business partners. That doesn't make sense. And she said, to make sure of that, I'm going to remain, if we decide to move forward with this, I'm still going to remain the lion's share holder of the shares in the business because I need to remain in control, you see, because you and Marceau are out of control. Marceau will be taking on projects, not following the budget. Y'all had all these big dreams, but not really following through in a orderly fashion to get things done. So I took the business is not in the current state that it was when y'all had it. I've helped to elevate the business at this point because I'm smarter than you. That's basically what she was saying. Okay. So Martell is like, listen, he lays his hands down in his confessionals. He's like, you know what? I don't have a problem taking orders from a woman. Of course you don't. Because you want to drag on anybody's coattails that you can at this point, sir. So you are willing to lay down and take whatever up the whatever to get what you need for yourself. Okay. So whatever. So Tisha basically is over here beating her chest, child, talking about she's large and in charge. They better do what she say, and she'll think about letting him back in. Moving on. All right. So the guys meet up at Pigskin and Pins. Somehow that name sounds problematic to me. But anyway, looks like they had fun. So they all sit down. It's Louis, Maurice, Martell, and Marceau. So they sit down and talk over drinks, and they talk about Tank going to the compound. He's trying to get his skills together for playing sports and things like that. And Marceau brings up Martell really put this outing together because he wants to see what Marceau's mindset is after he met with Tisha. So Marceau is like, yeah, you can't just get all your affection from your kids. It's great that you're doing all these things with your kids, but you can't get all your affection from your kids. And he does this to segue into talking about his meeting with Letitia. So he makes Martell feel a little uncomfortable because Martell is looking like a deer in headlights, like, oh, shoot. Do I got to talk about old coleslaw or Shay? Is he going to bait me into a conversation about that right now? I don't know what to say. So immediately, once he sees the uncomfortable look Marceau sees on Martell's face, he immediately says, yeah, your date with Tisha. How did that go? So they all laugh about that, saying that, they take a picture of your back, we going to know who it is. So then, Martell pretty much asks, what did Tisha think? What are you guys thinking? Where are y'all heads at? So Marceau goes into the Scott way of speaking. And I'm going to tell y'all, I hope y'all paid attention because basically he was talking in circles, telling him in a roundabout way, in my opinion, listen, if we let you back in this business, you can't be a liability. You can't be going out here snitching on me and Maurice because that's what you did before. And what you're not going to do is be in business with us. We have to have a level of trust. There has to be, he talked about the circle of trust, right? They talk about all these things. Like he's really being a roundabout with his words in so many ways, telling Martell, we can't have you out here airing us out. And Martell gives him a nod of approval, like, yeah, I know what you're talking about, man. And I'm telling you, I'm not going to do that. Like, I got you. We here with it. And I'm like, the only reason that that Marceau is even thinking about letting Martell back in is because he wants to be able to control Martell. And he wants to let him know that I can control how you make money. So what you won't be doing is airing me out. So it's going to be what it's going to be. Either you agree to stop the foolishness. We get it. We see that you going out here and getting found out. It got you caught. But what you're not going to do is now get us caught up because you didn't know how to keep the secrets in on tuck. Okay. So moving on, they all know what's going on. Marceau talks about looking like he's the dominant person in him and Tisha's relationship, but Tisha is actually the dominant business person in their relationship, and most people don't know that. He said he would be doing projects where Tisha would get a hold of the project and be like, he said, I'm thinking I have these big dreams of building this high-rise building, but you get halfway through it and realize, oh shoot, I don't have enough money to do this. So this whole conversation right here makes me think that some of this stuff about them being financially strapped or owing money and people suing them and stuff for projects must be real, that's out here in these blogs. And it seems like to me that Marceau is pushing her as the brains of the business operations and whatnot to prove that it's all on her. This is her. She owned the business. She's the face of it all. So if y'all want to come after somebody, it's her. Get her, not me. So then it's like and I feel like I'm having foresight of a divorce where she gets held up with all the bills and he can walk away scot-free, no pun intended, and live his life. I don't know, y'all. I hope that this a wrongful premonition, but Tisha, you want to be large and in charge and dominant, if you will, because Marceau seems to be very open and willing to let Tisha look like the dominant personality in their relationship of business. And there has to be something in it for him to be doing that. Because clearly we all know Marceau ain't going to do nothing that ain't unless it's something in it for him. Okay. So I really hope that this is one thing that I am wrong about. But seems like that's what it is. So he's big upping Tisha being the forefront of the business. And also he may be doing that so if they decide not to bring Martell back in, he can still lean on Tisha being the one that said no. Okay. So then they talk about the Coca-Cola bottles and how, Martell says, yeah, what was up with them bottles or whatever? What were you doing? He was like, oh, I was just, I was representing marriage. That's what I was doing. She posted the picture of the t-shirt. She's representing marriage. And so if that's what she was doing, that's what I was doing. And I'm like, Marceau, you are just so messy. I cannot with you. But moving on, in the last scene, Destiny is hosting her launch of her empty ass store, child, that has so little products in it that the camera could get all the products from one angle. Destiny, I've been to a lot of beauty supply stores. I'm a Black woman. I do my own hair a lot of times. And the store wasn't storing. I'm just saying, it wasn't storing. It wasn't beautifying. No, it's very lackluster. And it seems like she has quite a bit of space. Like she had a huge space. And it looks like, to me, honestly, y'all, she threw those products on the shelves. Okay. Those are called planograms. If you ever worked in retail, they're called planogram displays. She didn't have no rhyme or reason to wear the products. I was paying attention to that stuff because I work in retail for my full-time job. And it just didn't make any sense. She did pull all the products to the edge so it could look full, but it wasn't. And she didn't even have any price tags on the shelves. So how is somebody buying your products? Everybody gonna take it to the register and scan it? Like, how do I know how much this costs? But this is your launch. So Destiny walks in the building with Big Booty Belinda, her assistant child, because her booty was bootying. Okay. So she walks in. She has several Black businesses that are vendors there. She has Miss Wanda showing up for the food. Okay. She has her cousin Demi and her makeup line, and Macy and Mila's nail polish. Macy and Mila is Marceau and Tisha's daughters. And then she has some mocktails with somebody. I don't remember right now. Mocktails with Molly there. Okay. So Kimmy and Maurice arrive, and Miss Wanda arrives shortly after them. She's offloading her truck, and I'm like, dang, well, ain't nobody gonna come out there and help her. Like, what in the world? So she's out there offloading stuff, and then we see Marceau and Tisha pull up, and Tisha's like, do you need some help? And Marceau is like, we got things to do. What do you have to do? What do you have to do? Okay. You walking in this building to do what? He got 2 bottles of chocolate in the bottle in his hand, and they walking in the building. Do you have a vending booth that you're going to be selling the bottle at? Y'all could have helped her take that stuff out of that truck. That was just trifling. And then, of course, her daddy, Donnie, Letitia's dad, Donnie, shows up. That's the guy, y'all, that apparently was up in Mel's DMs trying to get with her. So I'm like, okay, Donnie, the pastor, what are you doing here? Who invited you? Are you going to buy some shaving cream? Like, why are you here? But anyway, moving on. Melanika and Martell arrive, and Destiny and Melanika are being shady, going back and forth, talking about Martell and his mishaps in life, and how Melanika basically has been Captain Saberho for him and trying to put his Humpty Dumpty back together. Okay, and I thought it was weird. If y'all pay attention, Contessa and Scott, which I don't know why they're here, they are in walking around the beauty supply store. Then all of a sudden, after this scene with with Melanika, Destiny, and Martell, they're shown walking into the beauty supply store. They were already in there. Why y'all go back outside and walk in? But anyway, moving on. So then, as they're talking, Melanika, Destiny asks, "Where's Melanika's husband?" She says, "He's at work." Okay, sis. So moving on, Martell asks if Destiny invited Melody. And so of course Destiny in typical fashion avoids the question. She's like, so do you like the fact that I painted the shelves? I would have loved for you to paint the shelves with product. That's what I would have loved for you to do and put some price tags up. Get your appeal in the store together. Have some samples of something around and about here. Like, girl, this store looks very unfinished and not replenished with product. Okay? That's what it's giving. It's giving a flea market of beauty supplies. That's what it's giving for me. I'm sorry. So Destiny, you need to get somebody in there to help you best design the store and get your life. But like I said, the blogs are saying that your store is closed. So I guess you ain't got to worry about that, child. So also, I forgot to mention when Martell and Tisha were having their talk, they were talking about Destiny and her salon suites. So apparently, Destiny wanted to put these suites in here. And if you guys know anything about commercial spaces, there's a person that owns the entire, let's talk like a shopping mall that has different stores in it. There's always one owner of the shopping mall. So the owner leases it to the tenants. So if you see like a Foot Locker or beauty supply stores, salons, things like that, they're renting from the owner. So they don't really have any rights to the space. You can make the space however you like from approval from the owner, but anything that you do with said space is pretty much you paying for it, and they're going to reap the benefits of whatever. Like, they may change the space for the next person depending on their contract negotiation or whatever. But right now, if she does those suites, basically she would be shelling out that money to do it, and she doesn't even own that building. And my thing is, if you don't have financial collateral enough from what the blogs are saying to pay your employees, you don't have no products on the shelves. This store is not put together. How do we think that you have money to be building some salon suites? You don't. You thought that you were going to befriend the Scots and they were going to do this shit for you for free. That's what you thought. But the only thing that they offered you was some drinks at Black, a glass of chocolate in a bottle, and some wings over at the Black Cigar Lounge. And I haven't seen you there anymore on your page. So clearly the buck stopped there too. I don't know what Destiny's latch to the Scots is, and it seems like they're not. She always latches herself to people that she feels is going to benefit her. And now I feel like the Scots are not benefiting her in the manner in which she wanted them to. So now she's left out in the cold on her own. She got to figure out her storyline. She got to figure it all out by herself, because Kimmy done already shown her hand by saying, yeah, you don't be talking about nothing. So yeah, what's going on with your man? Like, all of that, asking her questions. And she saw right there in that scene that Destiny was looking at her like, girl, I know you're not about to make me talk about some stuff. You know I don't do that. So your alliances have been broken, man, whether you want to accept it or not. So this is unrealistic, the things that she's talking about with these salon suites. You know you don't have the money. You don't even have the money to pay your rent in this place most of the damn time. So why are we even talking about this? What is this relaunch for? Why are we wasting our time here? So anyway, Contessa and Scott walk in, because they got to make their scene, child. They was already in the damn store, but I don't know if they left out or they just forgot to cut the scene out in the background of them walking around, and they was already in the damn store, but whatever. She hugs Destiny and says, look at God. And I'm like, well, I don't know if God had anything to do with this, because if he did, it would be right. She needs to pray that, he help her finish it up and gets the money, you see. But okay, whatever. So then she looks out the window, the door of her store, and she sees the gold BMW Mercedes truck pulling up. And that is Mel and Stormy. Okay, and that's the end of it, and it's to be continued. So y'all, we finally get to see next week what's the uproar with this whole situation with the Miss Wanda and Mel coming for her and whatnot, talking about, basically coming at her about what she said about Sugar Mama. So we're gonna see. This gonna be interesting. Clearly, Martell won't be buying back into Sculpt from what I seen in that preview. But let's get into these comments before we roll out. Tell me what y'all think. Simply Beautiful says Never Neverland, aka Bedrock. Child, ain't no good and daggone well. That house ain't going nowhere. Jamie Coleman says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Jamie Coleman. What's up? What's up? Thank you so much for watching. Thank all of y'all for watching with me today. I really appreciate y'all. Please don't forget to like the video. Please like the video, share the video, hit the notification bell for when I come back on. All right. You about to lose your job. I love that. Love the name. Love it. You about to lose your job says, listen, look, I got to say it like this. You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. All right, y'all, let me stop. Martell got Marceau by the balls. Yes, he does. He absolutely does. But here's the thing. You've already brainwashed Tisha, sir. So Martell is actually a non-MFing factor at this point. Because Tisha, anything that she sees, anything that we're posting, anything that anybody reports, unless these women are going to come forth and be like, yeah, I did it. He dicked me down, okay? And here's the photos, and this is him inserting in with his face on it. She's not going to agree. She's not going to believe anything that anybody says. You got to have some cold hard proof. She going, like I told y'all in many, many videos before, she's going to have a private. If Tisha wants to know, which I think she already knows, by the way, but if she doesn't know for some reason, and she wants to find out, she can have a private investigator follow Marceau around for a whole year. Because I believe he's the type of guy that will go a couple of months straight and narrow so that he don't get in trouble, right? And to kind of throw her off. Because there will be no way he could be doing anything because he's in a routine of consistency, right? You got to have a private investigator follow this man for a whole year, and I guarantee he will slip up and she will find out what she needs to know, and it'll be in live and living color. But she don't want to know that. So Martell really is not a factor to them like they think he is. I'm telling you that right now. Sheila Wright says, good afternoon. Dusty Destiny, child, Dusty Destiny needs to repeat the story correctly. Absolutely, because Kimmy didn't even say nothing about Mel saying, even though Mel did say in a clip that somehow Melanika and Martell had messed around, but somehow I feel like she was saying that they did that in high school, like that was old. I think they cut that part off just for shock value for us. I don't think that Mel thought that they were sleeping together currently, because that wouldn't even make any sense. Why would Mel be supporting, from what Melanika said, why would Mel be supporting her events and coming to funerals and supporting her and all that if they remain friends all these years? Like Martell and Melanika were obviously friends and Mel was supporting her. Why would she ever support that girl like that if she thought that her and Martell were sleeping together currently? That doesn't make any sense. And if she's sleeping with him now, Mel don't give a damn. They're divorced. She don't care. So that just doesn't add up, and Destiny was definitely putting sauce on it to make it sound worse than what it is. So I just really hope that this doesn't gain legs, okay? But thank you for commenting. Andrea Bob says, you are so right with everything you said. Yeah, I think you may be talking about when I said with Tisha and the whole her being the boss thing in the forefront and all of that. But yeah, y'all, only time will tell with these Scots, child. And with Destiny and her foolishness, like she really needs to get it together. Like Love and Marriage Huntsville seems to be a good source of income for her. And she probably could make more money. She's probably not getting nearly paid as much as what the other cast members are getting. I know they ain't getting no Bravo checks, but the checks must be good enough where they want to stay on the show. So if she wants to be on this show, you got to be real. This is reality TV. Like, you have to be real with your life, sis, or you need to be really fired. Like, we are done. Like, you're wasting airtime for somebody else that could be talking about something that makes sense, or you're wasting space for somebody that could actually come on and improve the platform and really talk about their life. Let's see Stormy more and her husband. I don't really want to see Destiny talking about absolutely nothing, or acting playing coy. Like, nobody cares. Jill George says, good afternoon, Shay. What's up, Jill? How are you? Thank you so much for joining us. Sonny704 says, how can Marceau trust Tisha to be in charge when he can't trust her to do interviews alone? Child. And you said it. And it makes sense. Okay? That's crazy. That's a good point. Sonny704 says, good afternoon. Yeah, so Sonny, when you said that about the interview thing, that's because I feel, in my opinion, I feel like he's setting her up. I feel like he's setting her up to take the fall for their finances and their business. And that's going to be a way for him to get away scot-free. Okay? Get away scot-free. Don't have to pay for nothing. He can get rid of her and her mama. He can, be a half daddy like he already is, because she gonna have the kids all the time. It's gonna be a great situation for him. But he wants to make it look like it's her fault. That's what it looks like to me. So Sonny74 says, exactly. Yeah, so, but like I said, y'all, only time will tell. We just have to figure out, we got to let it all play out, child. We'll see, because it'll all come out in the wash, okay? Maritha Gray, what's up, Maritha? How are you? Thank you so much for joining us. Gray says, good afternoon, Shay. Good afternoon. All right, y'all. Well, I will be back on here this evening. We're going to talk about, Real Housewives is done, y'all. We're going to talk about Married to Medicine. And I think Potomac comes back tonight. So y'all know I'm going to be talking about Potomac if it's back, because I live in the DMV. So we've got to talk about that. So y'all, please, please, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this video, and hit this notification bell right here so that you will know when I come back on to do another video. And I will see y'all in the next video. Peace out.